What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about 5 players' ADPs for fantasy football that I just don't understand. Whether I think they're going too early or too late, whatever they're doing, I think it's the exact opposite. Now, before we dive into our first guy, I just want to mention that if you want some more fantasy football content, I'm bringing it. So leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more. Alright, so let's dive into my number 1 guy, Javonte Williams. RB number 9, ADP 15. Listen, we all know Javonte Williams is a really talented player. And look, I'm a Denver fan and I get it. He's great. But the thing that everybody's overlooking this year is the fact that him and Melvin Gordon last year were on the same team and their numbers were exactly the same. If anything, Melvin Gordon had more touchdowns, 8-4, against Javonte Williams. That matters to me. They brought back Melvin Gordon. They could have let him walk. They could have let him go. But they decided to bring him back. And I just can't get behind that these numbers were identical last year. Can Javonte Williams maybe take a little bit of a leap? Sure. But I think Melvin Gordon still looked great. And he is a known touchdown maker in his career. I mean, literally every year in the NFL that he's played, except for his rookie year, he's had 8 or more touchdowns. Every year. So I don't think his goal line production is going to go away because he's useful to a team, especially Denver, who just got Russell Wilson and is going to be in playoff contention. You know, they're not trying to put up fancy stats here. They're trying to win real ball games. So look, Javonte Williams is a good player, but I think the situation with Melvin Gordon there, if it's an even split like last year, going as the pick number 15, that's going to be such a wasted pick this year. Next on my list is A.J. Brown going as wide receiver 10, ADP 26. That's just crazy to me. Once again, you'll hear this a lot. Is A.J. Brown a great player? Absolutely. He's awesome. But a player that I've never seen top 1,100 yards before in a season, playing with Jalen Hurts, whose wide receiver last year, Devonta Smith, the wide receiver 1 for the Eagles, finished with 900 yards. Do I think Jalen Hurts is a good passer? I don't believe it. He's good for fantasy football because he can run, but real life, he's not a good passer. Unless Jalen Hurts improves dramatically this year, I think A.J. Brown is really going to struggle. But he's going to be so inconsistent, and I can almost guarantee you A.J. Brown will not be a top 10 wide receiver at the end of the season. I mean, he's going around guys like Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, and Mike Williams. You could really make an argument for all the other guys who are in way better situations than what A.J. Brown's in this year. Coming in at number 3 on my list is another wide receiver, T. Higgins, going as a wide receiver 12, ADP 30. Wide receiver 12 is crazy to me. T. Higgins, once again, good player, on a great team. But we have to realize, he's never going to be the alpha dog on his team. Look, when you're stacking up talent, T. Higgins should probably be a wide receiver 1 on some other team in the league. But in front of him is one of the best receivers in the league, in Jamar Chase. Chase is a stud as a rookie, and going into his sophomore season as a rookie, he only had, he was the 19th most targeted player in the league. That's it, and he blew up last year. I can't see a way the Bengals go into the next season and they go, let's make sure Chase is at 19, 20 in targets. If anything, I think that number is going to skyrocket for Chase, and that could leave Higgins kind of behind. There's going to be weeks where he's great, that he did it last year. But Higgins also has some horrible games. And as wide receiver 12, I just think that's an insane pick. It's going way too early. I love the talent, but being behind a star wide receiver, I don't think it's in the cards for him to be a top 12 wide receiver. Coming in at number 4, let's jump back to running backs. I have James Conner at RB 19, 37 overall. I get if you look at the numbers from last season, you go, he wasn't that good. He had a lot of touchdowns, but he only had 700 rushing yards. That doesn't tell the whole story. Believe me, it does not. Last year, from weeks 1 through 8, Conner only played 55% of the snaps or less. He never had a game over that. But then the back half of the season, Chase Edmonds was hurt, and he got the full job to himself, where he played over 70% of the snaps. And in the games that he didn't, one was because he was hurt, and the other game he was coming back from the injury. So this year, Chase Edmonds is gone. They brought nobody in to replace him. They brought in some okay backups, and Eno Benjamin's still there. But no one of any really note, or they didn't spend any big draft capital on any running backs. So I think it's going to be James Conner's show. And last year when they had James Conner, And he played, and he started and got those big workload games. 7 games, he scored 10 touchdowns. And if you average out his stats over a full season, he was on pace for 1,700 yards and 75 receptions. That's nuts. And obviously, that'd probably be a top 5 running back. I understand the injury concern in the past has, maybe knocked him down a few pegs. But are we really going to take him in front of guys like Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, and Cam Akers? No way. I'm taking all those guys, or rather, the other way around. I'm taking James Conner over all those guys. Not even a question in my mind. James Conner is a good player, a known touchdown maker, and a great offense. And look, if he stays healthy, he has a chance to be a top 5 back like he was last year. And the last player that I want to talk about, and this one to me is the biggest. I don't understand it at all. It's confusing. It makes no sense. It's Jalen Waddle as wide receiver 14, ADP 40. No way in any league ever should Jalen Waddle be a top 14 wide receiver. That makes no sense to me. Look, Waddle last year showed that he had some flashes on film. But look, I don't like Tua. And in last season, he finished as the wide receiver 16. He wasn't even a top 14 wide receiver then. And now they added Tyreek Hill, who I think is just a better version of Jalen Waddle, who does all the stuff that he did, all the designed, rollouts, the designed bubble screens, misdirection stuff. Why would you do that with Jalen Waddle when you have the better version in Tyreek Hill? I don't like Tua Tagovailoa at all. I wasn't a big fan of him coming out of college. And I'm not going to believe him for this year either. I didn't think he was that great on film last year. So when I have an alpha receiver taking away targets from Jalen Waddle, who was the main funnel last year, going as a wide receiver 14, there's no upside there and there's no safe floor. So to me, Jalen Waddle pick 14 or 40 overall makes no sense to me at all. And all right, those are my 5 confusing ADPs for this season. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about the players I listed and whose ADP surprises you. Let me know down below. And if you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty of more content coming over the summer. We just hit July. It's actually July 4th as I'm recording this. So we're getting into fantasy football season. So stay tuned for plenty of more content. I'll see you guys next time.